Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and today we continue with this lovely story called Secret Kiss is Sweet and Tender. The first episode, I would say, super interesting. To me, it was super interesting. Hopefully whoever was there watching also found it pretty decent, at least. Let us see what the next day has for us. The next morning. I turned off my alarm before it went off. Ooh. I do that sometimes. And then I'm in trouble. The time displayed on the screen was 6:30. Ugh. I got up slowly and sighed. Yeah. Say what? Wait, you mean you haven't slept at all, or? This was a very important day for me. My first day as a teaching intern, but I couldn't sleep at all. I wondered if it would be okay. Yeah. After washing my face, I walked into the living room. Miss Serizawa was already there. I replied, doing my best to seem calm.
芹沢さんって起きるの早いんだね。いつもこの時間なの？はい。だいたいはこの時間に起きてます。
Damn. 6:30, huh? I mean, to be fair, this is also more or less the hour I would have the alarm on set. Actually, the alarm set when I start at 8. Yeah. I went up to the table where she was sitting. She was eating something that looked like a snack food.
っていうか、芹沢さん、何を食べてるの？これですか？カロリービスケットですよ。
What in the world is a calorie biscuit? I mean, she said that something looks like a snack, but calorie biscuito. Calorie biscuito. Let's see. Okay. So it's little like a biscuit. Not much of a breakfast, to be honest. She held up the package so I could see.
このシリーズ好きなんです。食べやすいし、量もちょうどいいですから。
Okay. Was this all she was having for breakfast? Worrying, I kept glancing at her, noticing my gaze. Miss Serizawa asked.
どうかしましたか？あのね、私今から朝ごはんを作るんだけど、よかったら芹沢さんの分も作ろうか？いえ、大丈夫です。
The night. She finished the last of her biscuits, then crashed the box.
私のことは気にしなくていいですよ。
Why not?
でもそれだけじゃお腹すくよ。
Unless she eats those entire boxes of biscuits every 3 hours or...
いつもこれで済ませてます。というか先生、朝食を作ると言いましたけど、まだ買い出しはしてないですよね。
Hearing her words, I suddenly remembered. That reminded me that I had come to the dormitory directly from the school, so I hadn't gone grocery shopping.
今からコンビニに行ってこようかな。私のものでよければ使いますか？
You have... What?
いいの？というか、材料があるの？
Saying so, I subconsciously observed her.
一応私も夜は作るので、少しですが食材はありますし、調味料も揃ってます。
What do you mean by some extent?
もし使いたいものがあれば、声さえかけてくれたら。
Okay.
本当に
question is, what kind of ingredients?
はい。では、私はこれで失礼します。
Why so early? She threw the empty biscuit box in a trash can, and she started towards the door. But as she passed by me, she suddenly stopped.
何
She approached me and peered into my face.
芹沢さん
Could be she was going to kiss me again. I immediately took a step back. She quickly positioned herself towards me and cocked her head slightly.
先生、目が充血してますね。
Me every single day.
あまり眠れませんでした？
Yeah. When she spoke to me, I looked away without thinking. Of course, I had wanted to go to bed early so that I could prepare for the first day of my teaching internship. But too many things had happened at night and I was too excited to go to sleep.
先生？
She spoke to me as I had remained silent.
ほら、教育実習のことを考えると緊張して眠れなかったの。それだけですか？他に理由はありませんか？
Oh, what you might mean, I wonder. She reached out her hand and dashed my face, then muttered like looking for something.
芹沢さんが私の憧れていたイラストレーターさんだったこと。まさかこんな風に出会うなんて思わなくって。そうですね。私も驚きました。先生がエマのファンだなんて。
I mean, to be fair, you found it out right now? You didn't know that yesterday yet, right?
でしょ？おかげで目が冴えちゃって。
Is that all?
なるほど。睡眠不足は私のせいでもあるんですね。
Is the fact that she kissed you not also contributing to that? She pulled her hand back and smiled with understanding. Well, to be honest, I had another bigger reason why I couldn't sleep.
芹沢さんが私にあんなキスするからだよ。
Twice. A sweet and passionate kiss. Just think of her soft lips and her breathing reminded me. And I couldn't sleep at all.
さすがにこれは言えないけど。
Why did you move your mouth? If it was inner monologue. I just laughed off and headed for the kitchen. As she had said, there were some ingredients in the fridge. Phew! Okay, good. Thanks to Miss Serizawa, I was able to make breakfast.
何を作るんですか？
I thought you were going out. She asked suddenly, peering over my shoulder into the fridge.
フレンチトーストかな？
Not French toast. No, please
卵
don't.
と牛乳とお砂糖があれば簡単にできるし。
Toast? Yes. French toast? No. Dude, please don't. I had French toasts once. Yeah, once. They smell so freaking bad. They basically stink, not smell. They stink. French toasts are stinky. And they don't taste good. No. For once, I'm gonna say that American toasts are better. Which is actually surprising that I'm saying that, but it is true. She... Anyway, hopefully... you know what? Maybe she's actually... Honestly, yeah. Konami is doing them from scratch, so maybe she's able to do something good. But whatever I bought back then, ugh. Yeah, I see French toast, I walk away. Anyway, I said, taking an egg and a carton of milk from the fridge. I then stood in front of the stove and heated up the brand new frying pan. She totally does not mean French toast that I'm thinking about, right? With sizzling sound, the savory smell of butter spread throughout the kitchen. After toasting a bit, the simple French toast was ready. She's not doing what I was thinking. Okay, I need to Google this.
本当に簡単に作れるんですね。
Because this does not sound like French toast. God damn it. French toast. Yeah, it's not the same thing. Yeah, so I was literally talking about toasts. And not what she's doing. Whatever. It's fine. Complaining about French thing? Yeah, always good time to do that.
でしょ？あ、芹沢さんの分、今からでも作れるよ。
I mean, she said she doesn't want, but whatever. Right? Doesn't hurt to ask again.
いえ、今日はもういいです。
Still, she didn't go back to her room and watched me cooking curiously. While chatting with her, I asked her something I'd been wondering.
ねえ、芹沢さん、聞いてもいいかな？
はい、
なんでしょう。エマさんのことなんだけど。
Even saying that much made me feel embarrassed. I'd always been a huge fan of her. Now I could chat with her normally. But as soon as I thought of Miss Serizawa as the popular illustrator Emma, I felt I wasn't worthy of her. Besides, I couldn't believe that I, just one of her fans, was living under the same roof with that Emma.
そういえば、昨夜は説明をしませんでしたね。知っての通り、私はエマというペンネームでイラストを描いています。
Miss Serizawa started speaking on her own, while I simply listened and nodded.
もともとイラストを描くのは好きなんです。それで描いているうちに誰かに見てほしくなって、ネットに上げるようになったんです。
I mean, right now I guess that's the way. When I found her account, she already had loads of fans.
私、初めてエマさんのイラストを見つけた時のこと、今でも覚えてるよ。
She's deep in the rabbit hole, isn't she? I would not remember the first drawing of someone I like when it comes to artworks and so on. Maybe. Like vaguely, maybe. Anyway.
それってどんな感じでしたか？心がギュッと抱きしめられた気分かな。
My heart ached and I just wanted to keep looking at it. As I wanted to see Emma's drawing as much as possible, I had been following her work closely since then.
誰かにそんなことを言われたのは初めてです。
Is that so? She laughed shyly.
また、エマさんのコメント欄、いつもたくさんのコメントがあるのに。
Plot twist, she doesn't read them.
そうですね。エマさんのイラストが大好きな人は私だけじゃないよ。そういえば最近更新をされてなかったよね。私いろいろ心配しちゃって。
I mean, she did yesterday.
エマさんって1週間に一度は必ず更新してたでしょ？だから何かあったのかなって。
She was searching for her muse. As I continued on, I suddenly realized, yeah, that's probably a touchy subject, like, in a way. I might be none of my business, huh? Just a moment ago I was thinking I wasn't worthy of her conversation, but because we're so close, I must have lost my sense of judgment.
ごめんね。私ってば調子に乗ってつい。
She looked down a little, then began to talk deliberately.
特に理由はないんですが、絵を描く気分にはなれなくって。
Makes sense. I mean, this is creative work, so.
それで気分転換をしたいと思って、この春、青彩女子学園に転校して一人暮らしを始めたんです。そうだったの？理由は特にないんです。本当になんとなく。
Makes sense. for she told me about it as if nothing had happened. She had said it was a secret last night. Whoa, sorry.
それ、私、聞いちゃダメなやつだよね。別に先生ならいいですよ。
As one of her fans, I shouldn't ask so freely about private matters. Watching me thinking myself into a pretzel, she giggled slightly.
久しぶりにイラストをアップしましたけど、ちゃんと描けたって気がしました。先生と話したり、触れたりすると、いろいろイラストを描く手も進むというか、新作もどんどん思いつきます。そうなの？はい。これからも協力してもらえると助かります。
Damn! I would be really happy to see her drawings, but help her?
お風呂に入ったり、キスしたりとか。
I remember those things, which made my cheeks hot. Again, my heart began to beat loudly.
先生？何？それ、焦げてませんか？やばー！
Noticing the burning smell, I put out the fire quickly. My French toast had burned a little. That's fine.
今日はたまたまだからね。いつもはこんな失敗しないから。そうなんですか？そうよ。だから明日の朝食は心配しないで。
Tomorrow you will not escape the grasp of her breakfast. I put the French toast, which was smelling burnt, onto the plate. With just a little burnt part down, of course. Watching me for a while, she finally began to move and said,
期待していますよ。
God damn it, I clicked too fast. We are going back, we need to listen to that. I don't care, I want to hear it.
期待していますよ。いろいろ。
She giggled again and left the kitchen. What did she mean by that? After she left, I was thinking as I set out the plates and the coffee cup on the table.
期待って料理のことだよね。
Yeah, definitely, it's about the food, yeah. But what was a lot?
協力ってこと？つまり、また、芹沢さんと。
One would think it's not Konami who's the teacher at this university, right? If I started thinking about the meaning of her words, there would be no end to it. I tried to put it out of my mind. I had just one thing to think about today. The start of your internship, huh? I keep saying internship. Internship. Intern. Anywho.
このままじゃ初日から遅刻しちゃう。急いで朝食を食べなくちゃ。
I stuffed my cheeks with the slightly burnt and sweetened French toast. I greeted the teachers in the staff room formally. Then I came to the entrance of the classroom with the teacher who had guided me around the facility the previous day. Stopping in front of the door, she turned around and faced me. Yeah, it's a different teacher that walked us around as well. The one that I did not have to read the... Yeah. As I explained before, you'll be in charge of this class from today. I looked up furtively at the display board with the class name engraved above the door. By the way, what are we teaching exactly? For the duration of my teaching internship, I was going to be in charge of the class where Miss Serizawa was as an assistant homeroom teacher. Yes, I am the assistant homeroom teacher. Oh god, suddenly I felt nervous.
こういう時はエマさんのイラストを見れば落ち着くんだけどな。
But today is not that usual. Of course, my smartphone was in a locker in a staff room. Why? So I couldn't use it now. I don't know why you would keep it in the locker for, but... just mute it. Besides, if I checked Emma's new work, it would naturally remind me of what had happened between us. It's fine. You'll manage, girl.
Mrs. Izuho, is everything alright? You're looking a bit flushed. You must be nervous. Before going in, you should take a deep breath.
Following her advice, I took a deep breath. Then breathed out, slowly. My nerves and excitement seemed to calm down a little. Like 0.1%.
Well, then let's go in.
When the classroom door opened, all of the students' eyes turned on me.
As I explained to you previously, this is Miss Izuho Konami, who will be the assistant homeroom teacher.
She then prompted me to stand on the teacher's platform.
はじめまして、Izuho Konami です。本日から3週間、皆さんのクラスを担当することになりました。不慣れなこともたくさんありますが、どうかよろしくお願いします。
I lowered my head. At the same time, I heard an applause.
It's nice to meet you, Miss Izuho.
Then only for a short time I had time to ask questions. Several students, full of curiosity, raised their hands one after another and asked,
Sensei, do you have a girlfriend or boyfriend?
something. No.
What subject you will be in charge of?
理科を担当します。
Ooh,
もしわからないことがあったら聞いてね。
nice.
Miss Izuho, where do you commute from?
教育実習の間は寮です。綺麗なところでびっくりしました。
Ooh, the dormitory! That's some stuff, for example, cooking!
It was probably rare for them to have an intern so close to their age. Then their questions didn't stop. Again, university. And you are at university as well, but later years, right? Furthermore, they didn't seem to mind that I couldn't answer smoothly and quickly. Yeah. Thanks to that, my nerves calmed down a lot. I felt quite happy to meet such a good group of students, while thinking that I happened to look at the seat by the window. Exactly. In the same seat as when we met the day before was Miss Serizawa. She was the only one just looking at me quietly in the noisy classroom. Until then I had focused my attention on the other students, but after noticing her I was only conscious of Miss Serizawa.
芹沢さん、あまり笑わないんだ。
What is she supposed to laugh about right now? From my standpoint on the platform, the other students talking or smiling at each other looked like they were having fun. Also, she said that she just transferred, so in a way understandable. She would not be like, let's say, integrated super well. On the other hand, Miss Serizawa didn't do any of that. But she didn't look bored either, though.
Miss Izuho, is something wrong?
The teacher standing next to me asked bewildered because I had suddenly stopped talking.
いえ、なんでもありません。
I hastily forced a smile and began to answer the questions.
Well, that's all the time we have got questions.
As she clapped her hands slightly, the bustling class quickly became silent.
Everyone, please prepare for first period. And Miss Izuho, please observe the lesson.
はい、わかりました。
I stepped down from the platform, then stepped backward. While moving, I tried not to look at Miss Serizawa. I stood in front of the blackboard and looked ahead. Wait, are you supposed to stand the whole time?
Now, let's start the class. Open
Listening to the teacher, the students began to open their textbooks on their desks. Huh. Dun, 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 dun. Then, oh, it still continues. Wow. That's a lengthy one. I wish back in my school the bell was like that. In my schools, literally the bells were like those freaking... You could say literally the alarms, like the closest thing I could compare it to would be like the alarm you have at the fire station. Something like that. Oh, it was so terrible, by the way. This one sounds pleasant, to be fair. Anywho, the bell rang out throughout the school. Today's lessons were all over. I breathed a sigh of relief. Ha!
Miss Izuho, gokigenyo!
Hi, gokigenyo.
After seeing all the students returning home, I could finally relax. Needless to say, there were so many important things in class, had no time to relax. As I had been concentrating all day, I was exhausted. Yeah?
Thank you for your hard work today, Miss Izuho.
Hi, お疲れ様です。
Being spoken to by the teacher who mentored me, I tried to straighten my back.
Ho 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 ho, just relax, okay? All that is left is to look up.
ありがとうございます。
We closed the windows together.
How were the classes you observed today?
そうですね。どの先生も教え方が上手で参考になりました。
That's good. During your internship period, you'll have to teach too. So please absorb a lot.
はい、頑張ります。
The students were all enthusiastic and raised their hands and asked questions. And teachers answered them in a way that was clear and easy to understand. I wondered whether I could do that.
教育実習の間にしっかり学ばないと。
Or maybe not exactly like them, but get a little bit out of all of them and find your own style. Boom! For once I said something wise.
Oh, so how are you finding dormitory life?
She asked, as if suddenly remembering as she locked the classroom door.
はい。お部屋もお風呂も広くて。
That's true.
二人で過ごすにはもったいないくらいです。
Oh yeah, that's right. Only Miss Serizawa is living in dormitory. I remembered. Please try to get along well with her.
仲良く。そうですね。ちょっとした雑談だけですけど。
Of course I couldn't say anything about taking baths together, being held down and kissed by her. I got confused and started as I answered.
芹沢さんって本当に素敵な学生さんですよね。気遣い上手ですし。寮のことをいろいろ教えてくれましたよ。
Oh, she did to teach you a lot
お
of
気に入りの
things.
紅茶も入れてもらったんです。
She looked a little surprised.
Really? That Miss Serizawa did that?
と
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I was just surprised. I thought she's had trouble adjusting to this class.
そうなんですか？
Oh.
She just moved to this school this spring, but she seems to be a little reserved. She doesn't seem to have made any friends in the class.
ああ。
Oh. Watching class all day, I had thought Miss Serizawa seemed quieter than the other students. I mean, she transferred. So, even when the other students all laughed, her expression didn't change. During lunchtime, she was alone. But the dormitory? She had talked to me. While making up rules in the dormitory, she looked happy and smiled warmly. Also, there might be that, the fact that she's all alone over there. While others are, you know, commuting from homes. Anyway.
馴染んでいないっていうよりは一人の方がいいとか。
Also that would be me. If she were reserved, she wouldn't kiss someone she had just met for the first time. I think. Yeah.
Well, Suzuka, you must be easy to talk to.
そうでしょうか。
I feel sorry for asking something like this of you, but if you could look after her, it would be great help.
はい、わかりました。
I would live with her for some time and I would like to get along with her. But Miss Serizawa was my idol, Ema, so I felt apt to be involved in her private life.
距離感って難しい。
Who knows? I don't have the answer to that. After my first day of work at the school was over, I went grocery shopping, then returned to the dormitory. As soon as I got back, I started preparing the dinner.
今朝みたいな失敗なんかしないんだから。
Very nice outfit. Yeah. I cooked up some side dishes one by one, making full use of the 3 burners on the stove. 3? That night I happened to be making Japanese food. I made miso soup, nikujaga, meat and potato stew, and buri daikon, smeared yellowtail with daikon radish, plus salad and pudding for dessert were in the fridge. That's a lot. Of course, I had made it for Miss Serizawa and myself.
勝手に作っちゃったけど、いいよね。
Tasting the food, I was thinking about Miss Serizawa. I know that I shouldn't meddle in Emma's private life, that it would be going too far as one of her fans. But as with breakfast, she had made do with just biscuits for lunch too.
あれじゃあ絶対栄養足りないよ。
Yeah.
That reminded me that she had said she only cooked simple meals. She didn't go grocery shopping and only use what the dorm mom prepared for her.
おせっかいかもしれないけど、芹沢さんとご飯食べたいな。
Since we were there in the same dorm, we might as well have dinner together. I reasoned. As I could hear the sound of the rice cooker.
That's a sound in the rice cooker, damn!
I opened the lid and found the rice cooked just right. I don't have a rice cooker. I go the old style.
あとは
Turn off the stove, put the food on the plates, and it's ready to eat.
芹沢さん、食べてくれるといいな。
Should I do the same? Just looking at the dishes set out for 2 people, she didn't say anything. Just like I worried she might be annoyed. Trying to keep myself calm, I smiled and said,
せっかくだから一緒に食べようかなって。
それはわかりますが、この食事って先生が全部作ったんですか？
Yeah? She looked at the dishes spread out on the table like she was looking at something unusual or curious.
あ、うん、そうだよ。もしかして苦手なものがあった？
Ooh. That would be quite a problem. Or maybe not.
大丈夫です。
Finally, she smiled and slowly sat down at the table.
というか、本当に料理できたんですね。
もしかして疑ってたの？
焦がしたフレンチトースト。
だからあれはたまたまで。
I took the seat opposite her and poured tea into the glasses.
実家でも料理をしてたけど、一人暮らしになってからはほとんど毎日してるのよ。
Yeah.
すごいですね、先生。短時間でこんなに作れるなんて。
My eyes met with Miss Serizawa's. I felt a little embarrassed. Just a tiny bit.
芹沢さんのお口に合うといいんだけど。ねえ、温かいうちに食べましょう。
はい、私もお腹が空きました。
We both put our hands together. Itadakimasu. I knew it.
いただきます。
I glanced at her. She put a piece of the nikujaga in her mouth and chewed it with her mouth closed. Yes! Plus points for her. You know why. I don't like noises made while eating, basically.
味の方はどうかな？
Curious.
とても美味しいです。
Yes.
よかった。
Though she was not very expressive, I was a little relieved to see her dig into another dish.
和食なんて久しぶりに食べました。特にこの鶏大根。しっかり味がついてて美味しいです。
ほんと？芹沢さんに何も聞かずに作っちゃったし、ちょっと心配だったの。
もし私がいらないって言ったら、先生はどうするつもりだったんですか？
Who knows?
その時は私が2人分食べるよ。
For a moment, Miss Serizawa looked absent-minded, then laughed merrily.
なんかいいな、この空気感。
Like how she ate the food I made, and sometimes smiled at me.
温かいご飯って美味しいですね。
Yeah? Her words made me happier than anything else.
ねえ、芹沢さん。
はい。
ここにいる間、私が食事を作ってもいいかな？
As I worked up the courage to say that, she gave me a blank look.
それは先生の負担になりませんか？
I mean, she already suggested that, so...
私がそうしたいの。もちろん迷惑じゃなければだよ。
She seemed to think it all over for a while. Waiting for her to respond, I felt my heart pounding. I imagined it must be the same nervous feeling people get confessing their love to someone.
I wouldn't say that that's close, but...
ありがたく先生のお言葉に甘えます。でも無理のないようにしてくださいね。
ありがとう、芹沢さん。
I was so glad she had agreed that I couldn't help but to raise my voice.
コナミ先生って可愛いですね。
Yeah? I felt embarrassed being giggled at like that. Finally, we finished the meal and dessert.
ごちそうさまでした。
That's a tough one. Gochiso-sama deshita. Gochiso-sama deshita. Gochiso-sama deshita. Gochiso-sama deshita.
ごちそうさまでした。
Oh, I messed up. Gochiso-sama deshita. Gochiso-sama deshita. Gochiso-sama deshita. Ugh. That's a tough one. Gochiso-sama deshita. After carrying the empty dishes to the sink, she picked up the sponge to wash them.
芹沢さん、片付けなら私がやるからね。
Come on, let her do it.
そんな食事まで作ってもらったのに。
She had an apologetic look on her face as she looked at me.
いいのいいの。芹沢さんも言ってたでしょ。明日は先生にお任せしますって。
The previous night, when I was totally exhausted, she had cleaned the bathtub for me. When I brought that up, she nodded slightly, with her finger touching her lips.
あれはお風呂のことだったんですが、それに先生だってお疲れでしょ？
今日は体力がまだ有り余ってるの。
I showed her my flexed bicep. Nothing there.
ありがとうございます。実は少しだけ手が離せなくて、お願いできると嬉しいです。
Oh, what you doing? What you doing?
もちろん私に任せてね。
No, I'm curious. She bowed slightly and went back to her room. She must be drawing, right?
これで全部っと。
I looked over the now clean living room as I wiped my wet hands with a towel.
あとはお風呂の用意をしようかな。
As I was heading towards the bathroom, the doorbell rang.
こんな時間に誰かしら。
I cracked my neck as I walked to the front door. It turned out to be the dorm mom. She had brought a package for Miss Serizawa. She seemed to have gone through some trouble to come there. Incidentally, as we hadn't met yet, we had a brief chat.
優しそうな方でよかった。
About 15 minutes had passed when I returned to the living room.
あ、そうだ。荷物を持って行ってあげなくちゃ。
I went to her room carrying the package and knocked on the door.
芹沢さん、荷物が届いてるよ。
Even after I called out her, she didn't answer. I wonder if she had fallen asleep like the day before.
芹沢さん、開けるよ。
I opened the door slightly and peeked into the room. She's so focused, seems like. She was working towards the desk and looked occupied with her work. She was moving her hands busily. Since she was wearing headphones, she had noticed that I had knocked on the door. She seemed to be focused on something. After hesitating for a moment, I called out her again.
芹沢さん、荷物が届い。
In her hands, I saw an LCD tape. And on the screen was a new illustration. I raised my voice without thinking.
芹沢さん、絵を描いてたの？
Just then, she seemed to be in the middle of coloring with many layers opened.
すごい。
I was seeing a master at work.
コナミ先生？
Miss Serizawa finally noticed me standing there and took off her headphones. As she looked at me closely, I came to my senses.
ごめん、すみません。
なんで敬語なんですか？
だって勝手に部屋に入ってエマさんのイラストを見て。
I mean, technically you did knock twice.
少し落ち着いてください、先生。
She stood up and came over to me. Oh God! Uh-oh! Miss Serizawa! Oh, not good! But the mom was approaching! I couldn't stay calm.
私。
何か私に用がありましたか？
あ、そうだった。はい、これ。
I held out the package I had in my hands. She looked at a small cardboard box.
わざわざ持ってきてくれたんですね。ありがとうございます。
She took the box from my hands and checked the delivery slip glued onto the box.
通販で頼んでいたものですね。届くのが早くて助かります。
Me doing shopping, only online basically. Putting the box down the desk, she suddenly looked back at me.
コナミ先生、イラストはもう少しかかります。完成したらアップしますから、楽しみにしていてくださいね。
By the way, you know what? I have not paid attention earlier, so yesterday, when we were in this room, but there are also cables here. I don't know, a lot of VNs don't have that. Big plus for you, deaf, big plus for that. For you still made a clock without indicators, so that's a common thing for VNs. But yeah, having cables to electronics, nice. She put her headphones on again with a smile. I didn't want to interrupt her drawing, I had to leave immediately. Actually, who's the dev of this game? Now that I think about it. Secret kiss is sweet and tender. Rosetta. I feel like we played something from Rosetta. Oh, IML games? I recognize that. And Medibang is publisher. Interesting, interesting. Soon after I checked to see that she had begun to draw again, I left her room. Then, several hours later.
更新まだかなまだかなまだなのかな
What is wrong with you? Go to sleep, woman!
Even after getting to bed, I kept checking Zwita persistently. I kept checking, but she still hadn't uploaded her new drawing yet. It might take days, maybe even. Come on, girl.
芹沢さん、まだ描いてるのかな
No, she's fallen asleep. Go to sleep yourself. It was already past midnight. I was trying to see it. If I was told to wait, I would wait forever.
Go to sleep, woman.
But I just worried whether it was okay for her to be staying up so late. She's a student, it's fine. Seeing no further charges on her profile, I closed my phone and breathed out a little. I hope she wasn't pushing herself too hard. Before I knew it, I had started dozing off. When there was a sudden knock on the door, I woke up.
Konami sensei, 起きてますか?
When I heard Miss Serizawa's voice, I jumped off the bed and opened the door right away.
芹沢さん、どうしたの
We've seen those outfits, but hey.
少し疲れたので休憩をしたくって。
それは構わないけど、っていうかもう寝た方が。
そうですね。それではそうします。
I think I know where this is going. She then walked into my room and climbed to the bed I had been in until just before. Ha! What? That's what I thought would happen.
芹沢さん、何をやって。
休憩です。先生もそんなところにいないで、こちらにどうぞ。
I had a feeling it would happen, but it's still hilarious.
こちらにって。
Wait, have I been sleeping in the same bed with her?
Not knowing what to do, I froze. Looking at me, she blinked her big eyes.
先生と一緒に休憩したら、ちゃんと完成させられそうなんです。
Huh? What did she just say? She'll finish it. If she took a break with me.
そうなの？
はい。でも手が止まってしまって。少しの間だけでいいんです。一緒に休んでくれませんか？
As she spoke, I was at a loss as to what to do. I didn't want her to push herself too hard, especially so late at night. It was the best she got some rest. I was also a little sleepy. More than anything else, I wanted her to finish her illustration, but getting in bed together was unrelated to that. Surely!
そう。これは、芹沢さんのため。
As I told myself so, she stared at me. Then I moved to the bed as if I were drawn in by her eyes.
失礼します。
When I got into the bed, I heard the little squeak of a spring, seemingly struggling under a wave of 2 people. I lay down with my back to her, trying to touch as little as possible. And then she spoke.
コナミ先生、こっちを見てください。先生、お願いします。
In response, I turned sideways, slowly. In the faint light, our minds met. She was closer than I had thought. We looked at each other from a close distance. I felt embarrassed because it seemed like the moment right before kissing. Hold on. I was only thinking about the bad things. about good things, actually.
どうしました？黙り込んで。
As she stared at me with wondering look, I suddenly spoke up.
そうだ、芹沢さん、何か食べたいものある？
別に先生の好きなものでいいですよ。
By the way, that pillow must be huge. If it's good enough for 2 girls over there.
せっかくなら芹沢さんの好きなものを作りたいな。
Ooh. Hearing that, she blinked her eyes repeatedly.
作ってもらえるだけでも十分なのに。
そうかもしれないけど、この際だから教えて。
After thinking a little while, she told me in a small voice.
ビーフシチューが食べたいです。
Yeah.
芹沢さん、ビーフシチュー好きなの？
She nodded in affirmation. It was so cute that I broke into a smile.
コナミ先生、何笑ってるんですか？
私もビーフシチュー好きだから嬉しいなって。
The beef stew I had cooked was very popular with my younger brothers, so I often made it. I hope she would like it.
作ってくれるなら楽しみにしています。
任せて、美味しいのを作るからね。
It was already late at night, but we had a lively conversation anyway. Well, it was getting to be time for us to go to sleep. Besides, she had to finish her drawing. I remembered how she said she would finish it shortly. How long would it take? Dude, don't rush that. I mustered the courage to ask her about it.
ねえ、芹沢さん、イラストってどれくらいまで進んでるの？
影入れとハイライトってわかりますか？
No. Yes, I was familiar with it. You have to add highlights or shadows onto the hair or pupils. Yeah, I mean, I know what it is, obviously. But how to do it? Don't ask me. I nodded my head emphatically.
結構時間がかかるんじゃない？
そうですね。人にもよると思いますが、私はちょっとこだわってますね。それが終わったら簡単な背景と微調整を行うので、あと3時間くらいはかかるかも。
エマさんの紙イラストが3時間後に拝めるの？楽しみです。
ね。
でもそれはスムーズに描けた場合ですよ。集中力が切れると描く気になるまで時間がかかるし。
そういう時はどうしてるの？
She comes to you.
癒しの補充。
With that, she extended her hand and touched my cheek.
何？芹沢さん。
エマって呼んでください。
In the pale moonlight, she let out a slight giggle.
でも
協力してくれるんですよね。
Help her out! Calling her by her first name would help her.
じゃあ
こえません。
エマさん。
I felt heat flooding my face. I just called her by her first name. Just doing that really made me so embarrassed. Japan, Japan, Japan.
よくできました。
After rubbing my cheek, she was taking her hands away slowly.
学校では名字のままで構いません。でも、二人きりの時は、今みたいに呼んでください。
はい。
Miss Serizawa. Oh no, 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 no. Emma looked satisfied with and smiled.
コナミ先生に触れたり、こうしてお話ししたりすると、落ち着くんです。
As for me, my heart was pounding the whole time. If this would be helpful for Emma, it would be fine. Who cared?
少し眠くなりました。
Suddenly I heard her yawning.
ほら、疲れてるんでしょ。今日はもう寝ましょう。
Oh, the phone is no longer with the screen of the Zwita. After seeing that, I closed my eyes. Then I started to feel a bit drowsy.
はい。おやすみなさい。
And that was it. Facing each other, Emma and I fell asleep before we knew it. And what happened the next morning? Find out tomorrow in the next episode of Secret Keys is Sweet and Tender. Dude, this is a fun story overall. I like it. A university teacher and university student. Both... Technically they are both university students. Let's face it. Our girl is making her internship. Internships are supposed to be made while you are still a student, so... Actually, technically, can also be done, obviously, after you are done with university. I guess for some people it is, in a way, the way to enter the career. But again, maybe it's a little different in Japan and so on, but... as far as I'm concerned, regarding Poland, you do internship, like the first internship while you're still a student and so on. So yeah, with that being said, let's end it for today. We'll continue tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider liking the video. Super appreciate it if you do that, obviously. If you're new around, consider subscribing. If you stay around, that will be plenty cool. And yeah, we'll see where this is all going. We'll continue tomorrow, of course. That's pretty much it. I wish you all a wonderful day and come around tomorrow. Bye bye.